Part
This
of it
conference
is
will
just
now be recorded.
here and getting this area clear cut and stumped and thin this area, and then she'll come back to you guys with, any
Real
permits
plan.
needed for a little barn for selling the Christmas trees and the Christmas trees, because that's not in your code,
Well, it kind of is.
so.
How far is it from like 86?
So the driveway entrance will be off 86.
Mhm.
So there's the horse farm, and so it's just right across. So I have a DOT permit in process, and I don't have it yet. They have to come out and look to tell me if I need culvert or anything.
So clear cutting would be right from 86 back?
Yeah, so here, this little corner is a lot of brush and honeysuckle, and I won't do that immediately. Christina is going to be up later this month, and so that little section I'll go over with her just to see if she wants screening, but there's actually an old cement foundation right in that little honeysuckle area. But I'll see, I want to save that little spot till last, but here,
Mhm.
we want to be able to see the Christmas trees,
Right.
because that'll be a selling point. So we
Yeah.
will, clear everything back to there.
Mhm.
That's a beautiful piece of property.
Yeah.
So does she have any idea if she's gonna do 1 or 3 lots, or is just kind of?
Right. So that is kind of, like I think like a worst case or backup plan, that she might sell a couple lots here towards the Hazeltons, the Hazelton Road side.
That she's thinned out, but the tree farm isn't working type thing?
Well, she really wants a tree farm because she and her
I
husband,
think it'll work.
we did the subdivision. They did the subdivision behind A&W, Brookside, and
okay.
so they also live somewhere between on the
Right there.
riverside.
Right over there.
Okay, so they're sort of local, but she always wanted a Christmas tree farm, and her son has a Christmas tree farm in Vermont.
What kind of Christmas trees?
She's probably balsam will be the number one,
Primary.
but she might experiment with. So she's gonna, plant in stages. So we're gonna get the site ready so it can be mowed and stuff, and then she's gonna start, and spread it out over like 3 or 4 years planting, so that they're not all ready at the same time.
But you'll bring that plan to the planning board in
Yes.
the future.
Okay.
Right.
It's the deer thing I wonder about, but
For
You won't have a problem with balsam and spruce with deer.
Right, but you would with cedar, certainly.
we
Yeah.
wouldn't grow the cedar
No
for
way.
Christmas trees. Yeah.
How many acres is the clear cut? I'm sure you said it already.
So
I
right, it's
apologize.
by 86, it's about 3 acres, and that includes the honeysuckle patch and stuff.
Right, so that's under APA restriction anyway for clear cut, right?
No.
It is?
No, it's no, we
Okay.
can clear cut up to 25 acres
Right.
without a permit, so.
Yeah, that was my
Yeah.
understanding.
So should they want to do a subdivision, they'd have to come back in.
Oh, absolutely. Those are all future.
Yes, but just so you know, kind of what potential, she might have down the line, but, this is just prepping for that.
And you're cleaning up that area with getting out those thick trees.
Yes, there's a lot of Listerus in the white pine back there. Actually, there's not been any activity back there in years. And so when I'm gonna have George Tender do the cutting, George did the area on the Brookside behind A&W. And, our goal is she wants to have kind of a loop trail there because as part of, the Christmas tree stuff, have a trail through the woods and stuff like that. So,
Right.
we want to make it visually appealing back in there. So.
Sounds good.
You guys want to vote on it?
I think it's a good idea.
So we move to accept the plan and then there's
Right.
a public
Oh,
hearing on this
no,
too? or
no,
No, you
This
just
is
move to
it?
vote.
Okay. I move to vote.
Go first.
Sure.
Yes.
All in favor?
Jim?
Right?
Can you just tell us where it is and how much acreage they have and, just so we.
It's 15 acres and it's located directly across the street from the
Right across from our Bombard's
Our Bombard's.
farm, horse farm.
It's 15
Yeah, that lot that's been for sale forever, right next to Max Hunt's.
So it's They gonna wanted go a lot of long money for it. towards Hazelton. The lot itself will go long towards Hazelton.
Tim?
Where's the, access point on the Hazelton Road?
Good question.
Yeah, and let me just read the names up. I'll tell you who's, it's
Right.
between Donna Marshall's and Jacqueline Holmes. So it's between
Yep.
1332 and 1354.
So is that like on the,
Oh, so it's right across from
The upper part.
Sabalski's.
you
They're
know how the zoning
1333,
map-
so it's
No, it's down. further.
right across from Tom and Jeanette Sabalski's. There's that,
You know how the zoning map
Cal and
has different
um,
areas?
Rocky used to live in the trailer right there. There's a pathway right through there, and then there's another house right there. It's right there.
So if you see orange flagging, so I kind of flagged it with the iron plates there, so if you go down Hazelton Road, you'll see the orange flag there. Did you know?
Yep.
Well done, Jeff.
Any other comments?
This is a site plan review. That's what's going on right now.
Right, our code really didn't require us to do anything. I asked them to do a site plan review so people understood it. But we're gonna deal with the forestry issue next month probably, as far as the code goes. We can discuss that, but, today is more informative than anything else
What does the code say about forestry?
regarding,
Well, our code, unless I'm misunderstanding, doesn't say much of anything about like clear cutting or logging.
well, basically the two lines in the forestry and the code were inadvertently swapped out many years ago. And it's put us into a weird spot. Right now, there's nothing listed for moderate or hamlet for any forestry.
That's what I was kind of wondering about with this.
It should have been a special use. And it should have been, just switched, those two lines. And those are the things that we need to push to the town board to have them fix that.
You're talking about the use table, there's nothing.
Correct.
So
It's not properly labeled.
it applies to the other zoning areas, the moderate intensity, the
Well, it's switched. So the rules for being permitted or site plan review or special use, he's gonna show you.
I remember we talked about this in the past.
Yes,
We talked about this 2 years ago.
yes.
Nothing happened.
Years ago, like that, anyway.
This happened during Randy and Gyno.
Yeah, yeah, we had a meeting with 480As about, allowing the 480A harvest to go through without permits and
Well,
stuff.
that's allowed.
And that's when that got flipped. And so if you look at that, you can cut 50 acres without coming to get a
Right.
permit. And that's when you guys wanted the permit, so, yeah.
Exactly. So we're gonna, this is informative and it's, hopefully everybody can gain something from this.
Thank you. Thanks.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Any other questions or comments?
So just out of curiosity, when it comes out on Hazelton Road, is it in the part where it's on the moderate or more residential in the zoning?
It's all moderate.
It's all moderate?
Yeah.
The entire thing's moderate.
Okay. I just, I'm just trying to place it.
So just for my own information, the hamlet on Hazelton, how far down does the hamlet extend?
I think it jags a little bit, but I think it right around, right around Lyon's property, I believe.
Yep, so close to there, but
Very
not
close,
quite there.
very close.
Yes.
Any other Comments, questions, concerns? Next on the agenda is just Jeff Luma lot line adjustment.
Jeff.
Okay.
That's Ralph.
I'm Ralph Schisler.
Nice to meet you,
Nice to meet you
Randy.
too. Nice to meet you, Randy. Did you want to say anything first or?
No,
So,
I'm good.
so what this is it's a boundary line adjustment. If you look at the maps, I got color coded. The blue is existing boundary. The red is what we're proposing, and the purple, that thin purple line is what we're gonna get rid of. So the parcel itself has, one parcel has a house on it, it's owned by Mr. Luma. The other one had the former Rosalia's Restaurant. That is owned by Mr. Luma as an LLC. I gave all the paperwork showing that he does own both. So what we're looking to do is add some land to the house parcel and take some land away from the restaurant parcel or whatever it's going to be in the future, because it's going to be some type of business. They don't need all the property in back. Has the existing parking lot. I showed all the existing improvements on the parcel, the sheds, the driveway, parking, whatnot, where the sign is. The only thing, and I put a big note in there about this, is nobody knows where the septic field is on this. There's nothing that I talked with the town. I talked with Forbes to see if they did the work. I talked with Lincoln's to see if they did. Nobody knows where this is. So there's going to be an easement given for wherever it is, so they can maintain, replace, blah blah blah, all that there. So there's an understanding that there is something, they just nobody knows where it is. So that's the only thing that's not really on the property. We're meeting all the setbacks. I don't need any variances. That shaded area you see to the south of the restaurant is the existing driveway to the house, which does not have a easement to it. So that's going to be the easement for use by the restaurant parcel, access to the house now, and also the foundation that Jim was asking about earlier. Behind it, there's a garage, and you can actually enter it from that driveway. So it's going to be an easement for all three. So what we're looking to do is the existing Rosalia's property is 1.27 acres, and the existing house parcel is 1.66 acres. That is split with with Waybrook. So not really usable beyond Waybrook by them. So we're looking to, lot 1 will be what the Rosalia's parcel is going to keep, which is 0.65 acres, and which is 28,441 square feet. The minimum lot area is 20,000 square feet, so we exceed the minimum. And the lot 2 is the parcel they're going to cut out and merge with the house parcel, and that is 0.62 acres, which is 27,000 square feet. To give the being merged with the house is going to give that house parcel 2.28 acres, which is 99,000 square feet. Sorry I was so quick. Is there any questions though?
So this gravel driveway you're putting in,
No, there's
already
an
there?
existing blacktop driveway now, and then there's gravel off of blacktop.
Right.
That's
right
the,
here.
yep, that's the blacktop driveway. That's the existing gravel driveway. Everything's existing out there.
So how old is the house, just out of curiosity?
Doug?
No idea.
Okay.
Relatively
Not
new.
old.
It's yeah.
What's that?
It's relatively new.
Yeah.
Okay.
That was built when I was in college, 20 years, probably.
Oh, so then the septic tank is probably no legal at 15 feet or something.
Well, for the
The septic tank is the one I'm
Rosalia
sure where
is
yeah.
the one that they're not sure about.
Yeah.
Right.
Rosalie's been there longer
The
than that.
house itself, actually, I talked to the engineer that did some work out there, made a set of plans, but he's not sure if it was ever put in. And that's all I had. I don't have anything for the restaurant. The restaurant's really the one we're not sure about.
Right.
The restaurant's the one that's gonna be either, it could be within that area that's kind of why I pushed it back a little bit. It could be within the area but behind the sheds, or it may be a little further out. We're not really sure.
Is there any kind of protection, Doug, given the proximity to White Brook with this mystery septic tank for a commercial building?
It was already a commercial building.
Yeah, my concern is that if you don't know where it is it even adequate for what Rosalie is?
I'm not asking for that.
I know.
Okay. That's what I'm saying. We're not doing
Yeah,
that.
I
We're just
know.
splitting the land. and it's already existing building, so
Right.
if they, when they come back to you for the site plan to do something, that would be that question. But at
Right.
this point here, it's just, I just want to point out that there is a septic that we're not sure where it is.
Yeah.
It was a restaurant before, obviously it was permitted to be a restaurant, so it does have the ability to be a commercial building.
Probably asked the Sabalskis. They used to own the motel that was there prior to the restaurant.
Okay.
I'm sure they probably use the same
Yeah,
footprint.
nobody knows.
Yeah.
So what, Mr. Woolman doesn't know, and Doug doesn't have anything.
Anyway, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Has anybody asked Rosie?
I didn't.
She could probably know.
I'm not sure, honestly. I know they kind of put things in there sometimes.
That building hasn't been there all that long, I don't think, like maybe 12 years or
I think that
something.
wasn't that-
Rosalia's? That's
that was an
been
old
there
building.
since, ooh,
Yeah.
probably
I would
25,
have to
30
be
years
there a long
almost.
time ago.
That went in when I worked at the Dairy Bar.
They
was still
tore
in
down the
school
old
till
restaurant
17,
that was there and they
16,
built that.
and make it
Well, they
that
might
in.
have used the same septic.
They could have.
Yeah,
Sure.
that I'm not sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's kind of scary that they don't know.
Well, they had the one restaurant that was on the side, and then the hotel
Well,
used to be
I'm
right
sure they
in
know where
Ed
the.
O'Connor's.
Footprint
tank
where
is, they know
the
over the
current
field.
hotel is.
That building's built on top of where the swimming pool used to be.
Yeah.
So again, what we're proposing is that red line, that's about almost 50 feet behind the sheds. We're taking out the purple line, and let's say the house parcel is going to gain 0.62 acres. So I believe this does not need a public hearing because it's just a
Right.
boundary
You
line
you can just
adjustment.
vote on it.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm okay with it. Me too.
Somebody's got to make a motion.
I'll make a motion
Okay, motion. We okay?
to accept.
Second,
Yes.
Done.
all in favor?
I,
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Ralph.
Thank you.
Thanks for the map.
I realized that property went all the way back in the shop.
I flagged the corners for it.
Thanks.
next on the agenda is a Ledge Rock food truck.
There's a food truck there last year, right? Waffle.
I've seen one parked there before, I guess, yeah.
How you doing, Roger?
Okay,
How's it going?
okay. Well, you see my food trucks. I'm usually at the Whiteface Mountain. And I got my food trucks parked over there in Los Sable Forks. I was the major concessionaire at the Oktoberfest. And where you see my, and at the Wilmington Music Festival. We expect to be at your music festival every Thursday night. The favorite told me it's okay that we put it on there. So we're gonna be putting the beautiful truck down there. Take care of everybody Thursday. And I'm all set up at my hotel, the Ledge Rock. I got 100 acres. I got plenty of space. And I'm going to set it up. I got the electric there. I got everything there. All my trucks are licensed. I'm licensed. My commissary is licensed. And I think it'd be a real good treat for people. Make it easy. And also for our hotel too.
Where are you gonna put it?
Right in the one driveway, right in the front.
Like the second driveway down?
Yeah, probably the second. I put the electric in there 2 years ago. I'm all set for it. You know what I mean? Ready to go. It's really easy for us because that's what we do. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And then now we closed up in the mountain. There's nothing on the mountain. We take care of Core Mountain also. We're down there in a big way. We're at Saratoga. We're at the racetrack. Not at the racetrack. We'll be there this year. We're at the SPAC, which is a big venue. You know?
Yeah.
We got 2 big places out there. So that's what we do. We want to do it around here. We're here. This is where I live.
Yeah.
And I teach my sons the business. And I only put in first class trucks. All my trucks are almost brand new. They're pretty nice. We do the waffles. Everybody wants the waffles. We have a disturbance when we're at the Olympic Center. The line, we mess it up.
Yeah.
We got the lines. And that's what we're going to have out there too. And
Any comments? Anybody have any comments?
Um, somebody who owns short-term rentals spoke with me about this and was at the meeting when you spoke last time.
Oh,
And he was very upset that he has to pay a fee to do his short-term rentals, but the person who, or the company who will be doing the venue at the music shows don't have to pay anything. And it's
That-
Yeah,
that-
That's
just
nothing
like,
we can do about
They
it.
pay
Well,
a
that's
fee
a- that's a
to be
town
at the
board.
music festival.
No, it's a town board issue. It
Yeah.
has nothing to do with us.
okay,
And you'll be pleased, and I'll be open, I'll be convenient, you know what I mean? People will be able to get there. It'll be convenient, it'll be very, very
I'll
nice.
vouch if Adam
So do you
really
think
is.
he should go to the town board?
No,
no, they know
you
that.
vote tonight
Oh, all right.
to allow it. It's a site plan review for this type of thing.
I mean, isn't this the same as what we saw last year on 86 when you were driving? You
No.
saw the waffle truck that was parked
You
there?
see my waffle
It was
truck parked there?
Yeah.
Yeah, I just
They
parked.
didn't have it open though.
No, they never, because I just park them there.
Right, okay,
That's where we live.
right, exactly.
I live in a nice place too. You know what I mean? But we're making nice for you. I think, and we're the last place before you get into Lake Placid.
Mhm.
so what are we voting on? His ability to park his truck
To
there and
operate.
open it on his,
To operate a food truck on his
On my
property.
properties.
Yes.
we'll go with that.
So we can vote on
Okay, I
Make a motion.
make a motion that we allow him to operate his food truck on his property.
Second.
Thank you folks very much.
All in favor?
Very,
it?
very
Aye.
much. Okay? You'll have a treat. You're in for some nice surprises. Thank you.
Yeah,
There are waffles? Oh, yeah, white face all the time. They clean
do
up.
what?
The kids are
The
like,
truck he wants to have, that's a ledge ride
Mhm.
on his own property.
Right,
On the
Because the
phone.
last time he was here, he was talking about the beach.
Beach.
I didn't know which one he was.
yeah,
If you don't mind.
two different,
And that's what we bring up to the town board.
Right,
yeah.
as well as the fee thing.
Next on the agenda is zoning amendments.
So is it open to discussion, or are we just gonna pass it on over to the town board now?
I think at this point, as long as everyone has read them, is in agreement with them, you can pass them and then they go on to the town
Yeah.
board.
That's good to know.
As long as you're all in favor. If not, and you want further
Right, I got
discussion,
that.
then
There were some amendments from the zoning board that you guys should look at and decide whether or not you want to include that in your final draft that you want to push forward.
I think the four that we talked about last time.
Did you read the zoning board
Thing?
issues?
What do you mean, did I read the zoning board issues?
I got it
And
right
then
here.
all the other ones that you
Right, the
suggested
zoning,
that need
This
more?
is from the,
yeah, the zoning board
Oh, and the
weighed
people,
in.
right, and the people, critiqued it,
another one.
Correct,
right,
with their suggestions that
read
you
that.
may or may not want to include in that.
right. It was an email to us.
Jimmy Grant and Stephanie Gagne.
Yep.
Gates, I believe.
Yeah, Mike didn't have a response.
The issue had to do with the word aesthetic being subjective.
Thank you.
She's gonna take care of you. Thank you,
And
folks.
I don't think that we have much of a choice with that, with regard to that.
Any comments from anyone?
Andy, can I make a comment?
Sure, go ahead.
Okay, so we're just looking at livestock, we're looking at all the other things that we need to upgrade our zoning
Not tonight.
variance with. So as long as we're in agreement with everything that we have to make the adjustment for the amendment to upgrade, then we just, again, like to say, goes to council that we approved all of it.
I didn't,
these don't have anything to do with livestock.
No, that's gonna be next month.
Right, right.
But as long as you agree, or if you want to follow the amendments from the zoning, then you can push it forward either way, with amendments or without.
I want to push the 4 amendments onto the town board. That's my
The
opinion.
original or the ones with the critique?
This is the critique bit.
I've read the
got the
critique
critique.
already,
So if you want to push it forward, just as they were written or
As
with
they
the
were written.
changes,
just as they were written.
just as they were written.
That's my opinion, but
I'm fine with that because
It's like,
I don't think we'll ever see a building that big here, so it's fine having precaution to not have a building.
so we're good to go?
Any comments from anyone? Or-
I think they're good.
Okay,
All right.
Some of it was restrictions on what was the square footage?
8,000 square.
8,000 square feet.
I did make copies. So everyone can look at them. And I also made copies of what Carl did to give people an idea of what
Did you see those?
8,000 square feet is.
yeah.
Just so you know, the visual impacts, the screening and visual impact setbacks and screening, number 3,
Right.
were questioned by the zoning as thinking that there was, the wording of it is bad, or maybe it shouldn't be there at all.
and that was Jim.
Correct.
Yeah.
And he did have good points there, so it's something to consider.
And then next month will be the livestock issues.
It'll be livestock and forestry. That's my plan.
Okay, cool. So, my neighbors have been complaining really a lot about that KOA on Fox Farm at this point, the amount of cut down. They do not believe me when I say, hey, look, it's,
Have them come in, I will show them the plans and they can see it.
all right. Because really, they're like, oh, somebody in town is getting a kickback, that type of thing. It's really.
Have them
it's
take the
right.
time to come talk to me.
Okay,
But on the current question of zoning amendments, you either have to push forward and vote.
We pushed forward. Yeah, but we
Nobody
didn't
made a
vote. No, you gotta make
motion.
a motion
Somebody
and then you
brought
gotta
up the amendments to number 3. You have to make
Yeah.
a clear motion and then vote.
Do you want to do them one at a time or all 4 of them?
It's brought up as one topic, so I would do all 4 of them. And if you have any stipulations
But if,
to
yeah,
one,
if you have a stipulation to 3,
yeah,
make it
then
now.
say I wanna.
Well, I think if 3 had been enforced, we wouldn't have the problem with the Sabalskis and the cut down next to their house.
As far as screening.
Yeah.
So perhaps you move forward with all 4 with the addition of the screening.
Well, the screening's already there.
Oh,
It's
okay.
just-
Randy,
Motion
I'll
to
make the
approve.
motion to push them all 4 forward as they
Okay.
are written.
Okay, I'll second
all right.
All in favor?
it. Yes.
Okay.
Any other public comments?
Old business? Anybody have old business?
Old business or?
Sounds like it's a done deal.
A food truck wouldn't need a special use permit
No.
for a.
Nope, food trucks don't need it.
But it will if it has to go on like for the music fest and stuff like that, right?
No, that means it goes to the town board and they get permission that way.
Oh, okay. Ooh.
Doug, is that because, is that because?
Is that for the KOA?
Food trucks weren't really a thing, and so they're not
Are you betting
in the
that?
code? Sorry,
It's the way the code's always been.
because it would seem like a business like that would need need a special use permit.
Food trucks are mobile. It's a different animal.
On his own property.
Mhm.
It's just an eyesore, that's it.
It's the same thing that you see on the side of a highway pull out.
Exactly. Going off to like, leaving from, you're on 80,
I
what
think
is that, 87?
every other major exit.
on the old business?
I think it's time to, I'll make a motion to close.
Pat?
Let's go.
Second the motion.
Lynn? All in favor?
Unless, I would,
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
thank you, everyone.
What? You know,
Thank you.